Hi there, David Baer here with another wine conversation, and today I'm really excited to welcome Luca Clary, who is joining us from Apulia in the southern part of Italy. Now, you may know Puglia as the heel of the boot, yeah? Luca, is that correct? The heel of the boot?
Hello, David. How are you? Thank you for the interview. Yes,
Yes.
actually, you're right. We are located in the heel of the boot. Yes,
Yes.
very south.
Yes, well, great. I'm excited to have you here because we're talking about a brand new wine project that you're working on, just getting on the market here as we're having our conversation in early 2015. I wonder if you might introduce our audience to the name of your wine and the project that you're working on, and then we'll get into a little bit more detail about the wine itself and your aspirations for it.
Yes, okay, David. Before starting, let me tell something more about my region. As you said, we are in the south of Italy, at the heel of the boot, and Apulia produce more wines than any other Italian region. We are around the 17% of the national total. And so we compete with Sicily for the first place as a grape producer. In the past, we also use our wines to be shipped in north of Italy and also in France to give more structure to French wines and wines from the north of Italy. Back into us,
So,
I will tell
Luca,
you.
a question about that. So you're saying that historically, the wines, the grapes that were produced in Puglia were added to wines that were produced in some of these other areas?
Yes,
Ah, okay,
exactly.
okay.
Yes,
I
in
mean,
the
it
north of Italy.
predates
Also
the laws now. That's not legal in a lot of today's production, but historically we didn't necessarily have some of those laws. So
yes.
I've never known that. That's very interesting.
Yeah, yeah. This is an information more.
Yeah.
Back to Mileuro. Actually, Mileuro is a project. Since December of last year, I was logistic and supply manager in a company in the field of green energy. But I had a good friend of mine, which is called Antonio Stabile, and is a very good businessman. So he had an idea on his mind to produce an excellent wine and genuine wine like in the past. So every step from the harvesting to the cleaning to the bottling is done exactly as in the past, as my grandfather made or my grandfather did.
Yeah.
So basically, this is the project. So to put in market an excellent wine, excellent in every step. This is our focus.
Yeah.
This is our mission. Let's say.
Well, I think for our audience, just to give a little more context to you talked about a very large production as a percentage of Italian wine in coming from Apulia. We find that currently there's a lot of sort of broad bulk production coming out of there, and and it has been an area that has really been great value, but not necessarily driven on quality. So
Yes.
over the last decade or so, we're starting to see either small family farms stop selling to cooperatives and do their own production. We're starting to see organic viticulture in Apulia, which had not been the case. Since the middle of the 20th century, there was a lot of chemical interaction in a lot of the production there. Just made it easier to farm. So this
Yeah.
is very much in keeping with the trend that we're seeing in your area, but taking it to a new level, and that's a very exciting project. It sounds like. So
Yes.
again, the name of the wine is
The name is 1000 euro,
okay.
which means 1,000 euro, literally.
So an aspiration in terms of quality in the mind of the consumer. It sounds like.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. Because our strong point is that we produce only 1,000 bottles per vintage.
Okay.
So the first
Wow.
vintage we have available is 2012, and we collect all the grapes from small local wine producer so that basically are out of the market, and they produce wine for themselves and for their family. So there is also very low chemical impact in this production.
Okay. So
That's
so how many different uh, th- for those who don't know, 1,000 bottles is
yeah.
minuscule. That it's virtually, a barrel or two of wine. It's hardly anything. So the fact that you're focusing an entire label, an entire project with so few bottles is exciting, because you have so much wonderful control over what you're doing. How many different vineyard sources or families are you working with to help contribute to the finished wine?
Well, actually, we work with 5 families around the area in
Hmm.
the Taranto and Brindisi.
Okay.
But probably we'll find someone else, I mean, someone more,
Hmm.
if needed. But actually, we are very happy with these 5 wine producers, wine families. So I think that we will continue with those people.
Yeah. So your first harvest for this project was in 2012. You mentioned to me before we went
Yes.
on the air. And how does the entire winemaking process happen? I mean, you are working with Antonio, but you're both business people, so you probably have some team in place to do the production for you. So you have these 5 families who are sourcing. Who else is involved in the project, and how does that all logistically work?
Yes. Well, actually, we have a team leader. His name is Gaetano, and he's 81 years old.
Wow.
So this shows you
Yeah.
how we, focus also on the tradition. And this is, he works in this field since he was 15 years old. So very, very old, and also experienced man. Then we have a team of 10 guys that under Gaetano control follow all the steps. So from the hand and the harvesting, because we don't use machinery, because the vineyards are very small, so machinery cannot go through them.
Okay.
And we also prefer hand harvesting because we don't stress the plant. And then the guys also have also the chance to choose the better berries and to get away the berries not good for the wines. Then
So
we have
just to clarify what you're saying here, it sounds like it's one of the most labor-intensive processes that we come across in winemaking, because you have a team going out to individual vineyards. Those vineyards are using their fruit for other projects, but you are selecting specific individual berries going into your wine. That's
Yes.
a lot of work.
Yes,
Yeah.
but we want to be the excellence. So this job must be done.
Yeah.
Because we want to give an excellent product to our customers. So no way, no way.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Okay, I'm sorry I interrupted you. So the fruit gets collected, and then how does the rest of the process work?
Then we have also the cleaning. Then the cleaning process consists of getting away all kind of leaves or stones or insects, or also bad berries. And then we go to the winery. Then all the grapes collected, the good ones are used to be squeezed. After the squeezing, we have also maceration, and then after maceration, we also have the last step, which is bottling.
Okay.
You know?
Now, you are making this wine from a variety that has been in your region for a very long time, called Primitivo.
Yes.
Historically, we think that it comes from Croatia and then was planted in your area. What can you tell us about Primitivo? We here in the U.S. think of Primitivo as very similar to a grape here called Zinfandel. There are differences, but similar characteristics in some respects.
Well, I'm not very good to explain you this difference, but yes, you're right, because I have read that Primitivo is very near to the American Zinfandel, you know. So I don't know if it is the same wine. I don't think so.
I believe that it's been proven that they're not the same wine, but they are very, very close.
Yeah,
Yep.
this is a red wine, of course, and it's very. Our wine is 15% of alcohol, but we can also reach the 18% of alcohol. So it's
Okay, so this is fruit that, I mean, you're in a warm region, even though it's coastal. The fruit can get
yes,
very ripe, and so you start with high levels of sugar, which accounts for the ability to create higher alcohol level. Yeah.
alcohol, yes, level. Yes, you're right.
And so, flavor-wise, you have sort of a darker, richer, roasted or jammy character. What is the flavor characteristic that people might expect, from the Primitivo grape?
Well, as I told you, Primitivo is very strong. It was very strong wine. So usually we use this wine together with during dinner or lunch together with meat or with cheese. So not with fish because here you should use a white wine. So, but if you like barbecue or if you like as American do
Yeah,
meat or beef, you have to drink Primitivo because it's the better wine. You can use with also with cheese.
sure,
Very strong,
sure.
very delicious.
I've had a lot of Primitivo, and I really, I think it's a lovely, beautiful, pleasurable wine. Now, one of the things that I think we know here in this market at least is that there is a lot of Primitivo out there that is either coming from a cooperative or coming from larger companies, and so
Yes.
it's one of the challenges in entering a market that a company has that's working at a higher level, like you are with such a small project, is how do you offset the marketplace's perception versus the quality. So here's a great example. I don't know if you have in Europe even or in Italy, but many years ago, about 20 years ago, we started seeing wines from Australia called
Yes.
Yellowtail. Yes, Yellowtail was everywhere. It was inexpensive and it was very tasty. And so
Yes.
everybody around the world thought Australian wine is cheap and tasty and fruity and has animals on the label, and that's it. And it became very difficult for Australian producers at a higher level, higher quality, higher price, to be able to change the public's perception. And I think that's one of the challenges we see in lots of different regions. So you have this great opportunity to educate the public about the qualitative abilities of Primitivo, but you also have this challenge of overcoming the perception. So, how are you hoping to approach this?
Yes, well, David, let's say that this is a roadblock, because you're right. After, so many kind of Primitivo in the market, is different to let people understand why they should pay $1,000 for a bottle of wine when you can find a, $5 bottle or less.
Yeah.
Of course, I know because I produce it, it's the quality. So I know what you drink. Here in Italy, there is a saying that tells you can also make wine with grapes. What does mean? That you can also be careful what you drink because chemical impact is very very high in big production. Just to keep the level of production, of course. As I was telling you, usually a lifetime of wine plant is nowadays is 20-25 years. In the past, Gaetano, which is 81 years old, told me that the average age of plant is 40-45 years.
Yeah.
Of course, the production of grapes goes down. The plant is more older and the production goes down. But I think this is the better production you can have by by the vineyard. You know?
So when a vine is getting older, the roots are getting deeper. It's extracting more character from down,
Yes,
the
exactly.
subsoils, and
You're right.
but
Yes,
it's
you're
also
right.
producing
I know.
fewer berries there as well. So that's a very focused, concentrated flavor in each of those
The
individual
production is
berries.
also is less, of
Yeah.
course, because the plant is not younger, but you have a better quality of wine. So
Yeah.
we also, and this is our challenge: how to explain to people that they may drink a better wine. I know the price is the difference, but
Well,
sometimes money is not everything. You know.
money is not everything, and I think that we find this in almost every commodity out there, whether it's art or whether it's mass-produced plastic toys for kids. You have high-level quality, you have low-level quality, and you can get a who knows? You can go to a national or an international hamburger restaurant chain and get a very inexpensive hamburger, or you can go to a fancy French, Daniel Boulou restaurant and get a $50 hamburger.
It's
Quality
the
is,
same. Yeah. It's the same difference between a luxury pair of shoes and a normal pair of
yeah,
shoes.
exactly.
You can always walk, but luxury is different.
Yes. So, how you are new to this project because the project is brand new, and you're going
Yes.
through, I think, a great time in your life because you may have been a wine consumer up until now. Suddenly, you are in the wine business, and you are learning things about
Yes.
the wine business. So I'm curious, what are some of the new, interesting, revealing things or surprises that you've encountered so far as you've been, working through introducing this new project to the marketplace?
Well, actually, every day I'm learning something new, and also I'm telling you that I'm studying. Even if I'm 31 years old, I'm studying because wine world is completely new for me. By the point of view of marketing, of the point of view of producer, I have been, a drinker of wine since I was 6 years old, but I had never thought to be one day sales manager in a project. So I feel the responsibility I feel responsible for for reaching the goal and the target with this project. So
Sure.
we have many challenges, but also many roadblocks along the road. But I think that we will success finally.
Well, I think you have a wonderful story here because you're telling the story of the history of the region. You have somebody who is guiding the project who has been doing this or who has been on the planet for 8+ decades. So
Yeah.
has grown up around the tradition as well, and you're working to tell the story of a place, of a region, and of a very pure product ultimately. So that's a
Yeah.
wonderful thing. So you are currently trying to again. You have so little wine. You have 1,000 bottles.
Yeah.
You're interested in reaching which markets with your wine?
Well, of course, the price of the wine is getting is focusing on particular kind of customer. So my main customer could be hotel, luxury hotels, also people that like collectioning the wine because every bottle, I will show you later, every bottle is numbered with the authenticity partners. So parchment, sorry. So the target is a very high target. So I also would like to find some dealer and distributor in your country, in the US, just to help me to set, to make the stock up in your
Sure.
country. What I have in my mind, I would like to organize a tasting day because what I have been looking in internet is that it's very common to organize tasting
Sure.
days, inviting people and also trying wine. and I think could be a good idea just to start and to let people know 1000 wine.
Well, so you have probably a very few places in the world in general that you can bring your wine out to. What are the countries or the places that you're hoping to be able to reach with Miliero?
Well, actually, I am focusing on usually on four countries. The first country is US, because it's a large country, so I think there are many challenges.
Yep.
The second one is China, because also it's a very huge country,
Sure.
many people, and so I think it's rich of opportunities. Third is not the country, it's a region, it's Northern Europe, because German, Swedish, and Danes, they like Italian wine. And the other wine, the fourth country should be Russia. But actually, I have not found anybody in Russia. So I hope to find someone to talk, in short period. Short time.
I think you're right on target. I think that those are all countries that have the type of audience you're trying to reach, and I think that's a great approach in presenting something that can be challenging, because we think about wines that are made at a very high level. Your competition is not necessarily your local wine production. That people aren't necessarily thinking, wow, a high-level Apulian wine. They're thinking, wow, this is a small production wine that's very special, and it's a luxury good, just like high-end Champagne or high-end
Yes.
Bordeaux or something. And so it's a very specific target market that I think makes your project very exciting and very interesting to be able to introduce to an audience that may not, have an interest in wine as much as have an interest in the luxury aspect of it.
Thank you.
So that's kind of fun, and it's quite unique for a new wine producer out there as well. So
May I show you the bottle,
I would
David?
love to see the bottle. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the box. Can you see the box?
Yes, indeed.
This is a wooden box, so every bottle is boxed in its own box. So this is a Swedish pine. So this is the bottle. Can you see it?
Yeah, can you lift it up just a little bit more?
Okay, this way.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, this is the label is in copper. This is the number 004 of vintage 2012. Then the bottle is champagne shaped bottle, and is black shining color.
That's gorgeous.
And if I take away the bottle, I show you the parchment. Okay, this is the parchment. Can you see it?
Yes.
This is an authentic leaf.
I love that.
So on our website, we have copy of each parchment. So if you want to check the authenticity of your wine, just go to the site.
Yeah.
You check the number, and if the leaf is equal, it's exactly the same. The wine is original.
Wow. So historically, authenticity was a very big problem in unscrupulous wine merchants would put different wine into a bottle and
Yes.
And so authenticity tradition is that you put the name of the producer, maybe the vintage, on a cork, so that when the cork comes out, you've gone another level with this. You have the parchment, you have the internet verification. it's a lot of fun. That's great.
I don't know if anybody else do the same, but
right. Well, that's great, and I think it'll be a lot of fun to then bring people to the website and help educate them more about the project as well, because while they're there, of course, they're going to want to read about where this wine came from and what it's all about as well. So, brilliant marketing there. I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
Well, good.
This is not my idea. This is Antonio's idea. So he's a very good businessman.
Good. Well, I'm curious to know, what hopes and aspirations. You talked about the target market that you have for this this wine. But you're just getting started with this project. What hopes and aspirations do you think you're thinking about as the project is growing? You have places you want to go. You have opportunities to get the wine tasted and into people's hands. Do you see a growth for the region? Is it going to bring attention to the region in general? Are you what's the next step, I guess, is my question.
Well, as I said before, the next step is just getting a net. So I want to build my own network. So I would like to visit USA. I have never been in US. So I hope this is a good chance to visit a big country and just to meet someone that can help to distribute this wine. The second step, I had a contact just today with an importer in South France, and he was very interested in our wine. So probably I will contact him next week, and we will try to fix a meeting, an appointment, just to meet each other. So my wish is that this project is not just a bubble, but just selling every year our bottle, and of course to drink 1.000 euro, because we are not focusing also only about the money, but we also want to give quality to the people, and to grow up and to have more connection worldwide. So to grow up with the network. So I want to use this interview, of course, if you allow me to say, if you are interested in this wine in 1.000 euro, please contact me. Visit my website, and I will call you, or I will write you back in short time.
Great. Hey, Luca, what is that website, by the way, so that we can leave a link under the video for people?
Well, the website is www.1000euro.com. Well, don't let me spell, because my English is not very perfect, but.
For those who want the spelling, of course there'll be a link under the video, but it's MILLEURO.com.
Perfect.
Yep. There we go. And the website is fascinating. You have great videos. You have wonderful pictures. You even have some music to accompany people's visit to the website, so that people can get a chance to really immerse themselves in a culture, and that's fun. And you include the story of the process of the production, including we talked about the wine getting produced, but including the creation of that parchment and the plate that goes into the wines as well.
Yes, we did. Yeah. And I want to add one information more. If you visit the website, since a few days we have put the page news. So in this page we will put all the news about around 1.000 euro. At the beginning of January, there was a competition called World Master Chocolate in Rimini. Okay. This is the national selection to the World Master Chocolate in Paris. And we had a local chocolate chef. He made chocolate molded praline with 1.000 euro wine. So delicious. Yes. If you want, you can see also the pictures. And he gained the 3rd place, with this molded praline.
I want the chocolate. I mean,
yeah, I will send you a box. No problem. I will send you a box. Wonderful. I will tell him.
Yeah. So one of the things that people will encounter when they get to the website, or when they get a bottle in their hands, is something that we don't see in many Italian wines, something called a PGI, a protected geographic indication. We see other terms in Italy, DOC, DOCG, which are older, more often used classifications. Can you tell us a little bit about what the PGI classification is?
Yes, David, you're right. Our wine, this is what I forgot to tell you before during the interview, is that 1.000 euro wine is PGI wine. which means protected geographical indication. This is a status given by the European community to each country of European community to protect their own food and beverage, in this case, wine. So this means that, for example, if produce 1000 euro wine and it is PGE protected, Salento, Primitivo, you cannot give the same name to this wine if you produce it in New Zealand or in Australia. So it's more or less like the cheese. Parmigiano is only Italian cheese. You cannot produce that in China or in US.
Right.
So this is one authenticity more for the customer, for the final customer.
Yeah. Well, that's great, and we see this. This is a challenge that I think we encounter in many places around the world. You talked about the Parmigiano. We have Champagne is another area that is taking advantage of the protection as well. So
yes.
Yeah, great. Well,
but you know, also imitation is a big problem for us. I mean, for Italian, for France, and for Spanish, for everybody, because. Last week in on TV I saw that in Northern Europe you can buy some kits to make wine, some powder that you mix with the water, and you can have Tavernello, then you can have Chianti, then you can have Primitivo, and this is not wine, guys. This is not wine. So this is just to protect the customers.
Sure. Sure. And it's we're a changing world. There's technology out there that now allows for things like powder and water to create a wine or a wine, and we really need to have the sorts of protections in place to help people understand what is authentic. And then you are representing a project that really goes to a different level completely, which is not just authentic but also handcrafted at the highest level. And and I think that's a very, very exciting project. So I cannot wait to have an opportunity to have a personal encounter with your wines. I think they're going to be.
I will send you a bottle. I will send you a bottle. I will send you a sample. Promise.
They will be very, very exciting and clearly very different in the marketplace than anything that people have experienced from Apulia and from Salento in general. And I think that's going to be a great opportunity for you to get out there and share the story of the region and share the story of the grape and share the story of the people behind it. And so congratulations on this new project. Anything that you would like to add for our audience before we go?
Well, not at all. No, David. I think that I told you more or less all the story.
Oh, great.
Now I'm a little bit nervous for the interview, because English is also the language is also a problem. But I think that's okay.
I think your English is excellent. I can't even speak English right now, so there you go. Anyway, Luca, Clary, thank you so much for spending some time with us today, for telling the story of Miliero, and I'm very excited to see the next stages of this story and see where your wine heads, and I know that you have wonderful opportunities ahead of you and the wine ahead of it as well. So congratulations, and we're gonna stay tuned in and hopefully get a chance to even revisit with you maybe a year or two down the road and see where things are at that point.
Yes, great. Why not? Well, and my wish is that you will be able to buy 1000 euro somewhere in the US.
Well, good. We're going to see if we can help you do that. So if you want to check out the website, there's a link under this video. And I thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with Luca and myself. And please do stay tuned for another wine conversation coming your way really soon. This has been David Baer. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you soon again. Bye-bye.